Hello, I'm Amanda Farrer of Inspiring Inking and welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I am going to be sharing with you the brand new 2022 to 2024 in colours. These are launching worldwide on the 3rd of May 2022, and at the time of filming that's just a few weeks away. There are five colours. They're really quite vibrant colours, and I think they're going to coordinate with our original colours as well. So what I'm going to do is turn the camera around and share these new colours with you. So here we go. Here are all five colours. Starting at this end, this is Sweet Sorbet, Parakeet Party, Starry Sky, Tahitian Tide, and here is Orchid Oasis. Now, you've got a really sort of deep, vibrant reddy pink, a lovely, lovely lime green, a deep blue. Just wait until you see this in action. You know I love blue. This is amazing. And this Tahitian Tide is a true turquoise. It is beautiful. And then this is Orchid Oasis. Now this is actually purple, but it's on the blue side of purple. So I'm kind of thinking I've actually got three blues here, which makes me very happy. So I'm just going to quickly go through putting the labels on an ink pad. I don't do this very often, but I'm aware that we do get new people joining all the time, and you might not know that there are labels and things with your ink pad. So let me just show you that. And also, there are little dots on the bottom of these ink pads and a corresponding little hole, and they actually nestle in and stack. So they make a really good stack. Now we have awesome storage solutions for ink pads, but if you don't have space for those, then you can see how cleanly and neatly they stack like this. I always recommend you buy a re-inker or with your new ink pad. It just means that you always know that you can re-ink your ink pad, and that's really important. And here is a new top tip. One of my team, the lovely Karen, shared this with us the other day, which is using a spare label from the ink pad to label up the re-inker. And it just means then when they're all stood, you can sort of glance at it and see the colour. We now have two blank labels, which I'll show you in a second. So you can use that. But actually, you could use a different language for your colour labels as well. So the ink pads come with cellophane over the top. So just get your scissors in and open that up. And then on the back, you will have this, and there are five little labels. So there's English and French and German, and then two blank labels. And what I do is I lift up, let me show you, lift up that clear piece there, and I pull that off. I pull off the French and the German because I don't need those. And then I take the Orchid Oasis and I put that at the front here. So I put the English one just there on the front. Then I open up the ink pad and I put a second one in that little recess there. So let me just lift that up. And what I do is I use the tip of my scissors to hold it, and then I'll lay it down in the recess, because quite often when you've got your ink pads open on the desk, you can't always tell which colour is which. This does not want to lie in neatly today. There we go. So just, ooh, it's a bit wonky. Move it over a little bit. Okay, so that then shows me the colour there. And then, as I said, Karen's top tip. Wrap that around there. And then you know you've got the right colour. Now I then take off the backing label from here as well. And then my ink pad is all ready to go. Now we're going to be using Orchid Oasis for a card in a little while. But so that's all the ink pads. Let's now look at the cardstock colours. So it's always tricky because you never quite know how the colours are going to show up on camera, and also with you looking at this on a computer or any other device, your monitor will show the different colours. So what I am going to do is bring in some different colours of cardstock so you can kind of see it in comparison. So on my screen, as I'm looking right now, this Parakeet Party looks quite pale. It is not. It is real lime. And then obviously you've got the two blues, and then this is Orchid Oasis, which is the purple. So I'm going to start with the blues. So this is Starry Sky, and I'm going to bring in Night of Navy. So you can actually see this is a much brighter blue. But if you compare it to Pacific Point, it's obviously a much darker blue. And there is a hint of purple in this. So it is really interesting. Now, you probably know that Misty Moonlight, which is an outgoing in colour, is one of my favourite colours. And it's a very, very kind of different shade to that. But this you will be seeing a lot of. It is gorgeous. So that's Starry Sky. Let's move to the purple now. This is Orchid Oasis. And I'm going to start with Highland Heather. And Gorgeous Grape. And you can see how much blue tone there is there. It's very, very blue. And you can see that even more so with this. This is Rich Razzleberry. And this has got a lot of red in it. But this, yeah, it is a lovely, lovely purple. So quite often when we talk about purples, we talk about Cadbury's purple. Because that's something here in the UK. It's a chocolate manufacturer, so you know we know all about that. But I would say that actually this is still, it's paler. It's a more mid-tone purple than Cadbury's. So that's two. Let's bring in Tahitian Tide, which I think is going to be absolutely one of my favorites. Now, let's bring in a real pale blue. This is Balmy Blue. Then you've got Coastal Cabana and Bermuda Bay. That took me a second then to get to the colour. So again, you can see we have nothing in this tone at all in the colours that we have at the moment. So it's going to be an awesome addition. Yes, you will be seeing a lot of that as well. Now, Sweet Sorbet. I'm not really a pink girl, or even red, actually. I don't tend to use the colours that often. But this is such a beautiful shade. And it's quite soft, if that makes sense. It's not in your face. It's not a loud pink, but it shouts because it's nice. So I have got here Poppy Parade, which in reality is quite similar. And then Real Red. And you can see, compared to Real Red, this is much paler pink. But compared to Poppy Parade, which has got more orange in it, this is a much softer colour. So again, it's going to be awesome. And then the final one is Parakeet Party. It is a true lime. It is absolutely zingy, luminous lime. This is Old Olive, and this is Granny Apple Green. And I kind of expected it to be very similar to Granny Apple Green, but it really isn't. It's much lighter and brighter, much more in your face, but very beautiful. So that's sort of the colour comparisons. I have a few new products to show you as well. This is the In Colour paper packs. Now, we've had a redesign of the patterns, and you can get these In Colour packs for the 4 colour families. So subtles, regals, brights and neutrals. And yeah, they're in the 6x6 size. Now, there are 2 patterns with each design. So this is the Sweet Sorbet. So I'm going to just bring this up. No, actually, I will bring it up with something with a bit more contrast. Ooh, dropping them on the floor now. Here you go. Let me show you Starry Sky because it's more contrast you'll be able to see. So it's like a tone-on-tone print. So you've got flowers and leaves on one side, and then this lovely stripe. And then the second design is spots. And these are tonal, different shades of the colour. But they are not actually spots. You think they're spots, but they're actually hexagons. They are 6-sided. And then this lovely plaid design. So that's the 2 designs. So you've got that in all of the colours again. You just see how beautifully these work together. Absolutely stunning. I'm very excited. Can you tell? I love new colours. It's just a lot of fun to design things with different shades of colour. So you're going to be seeing a little bit of that paper on there. And I'm going to use this new stamp set called Nature's Prints. And it's a beautiful stamp set. It's part of a product suite, and you will be seeing a lot of it. It uses sun prints to make patterned paper. So the patterned paper itself is tone on tone, and there's lots of blues, and it is really, really beautiful. And it's sort of silhouette images. So you're definitely going to be seeing a lot of this, but this is actually the stamp set that I'm using. I'm just using this lovely leaf and the hello there image. It's a red rubber stamp set, which is very cool. So I'm going to be using that. And I had to show you this because I'm so excited about this. This is a new set of dies. It is called Stylish Shapes. It's £28 and you get 1, 2, 3, 6 circles, 4 banners, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares. And they are dotty and double edged. And what I mean by that is when you die cut it, it die cuts with this beautiful dotty edge, but then you also get a dashed edge. I don't know whether or not that's going to show up. A dashed edge round the die cut piece. So you can use the positive and the negative. Very, very cool. Yeah, so whenever I get a new catalogue, I always start at the back. And I always look at the dies, the punches, the accessories, the ribbons, and so on, before I look at the stamps, because these are kind of my workhorse tools. And yeah, I'm so excited about these. These are going to be used a lot. So last thing to show you, and then I'm going to make a card, is this metallic woven ribbon. So this is in the colour Orchid Oasis, and there is ribbon for all of 5 of the colours, and it ties bows beautifully. Let me just show you. So this is always my test for a ribbon. Does it tie and hold a beautiful bow? And the answer is absolutely yes. But also it's like a mesh woven, and you can pull it apart. So, you know, if you want something, you know, that looks a bit like netting or a bit of something just to add a little bit of texture, it's so pretty. And the shine on it is amazing. So, and there's 9 meters on a roll, so a lot of ribbon. Okay, so I thought I would do a very simple card to show all of the colours. So I've got a little strip of the patterned paper. I've got 2 die cut pieces in case I mess up, because, you know, it could happen. And I've got Early Espresso. Now, I have used Early Espresso as kind of the matte layer on 4 of the cards, but I couldn't use it with Starry Sky because basically it's too dark, so it didn't work. So I've had to use a different contrast piece. So I'm going to get the Orchid Oasis. Now this is a brand new ink pad. Obviously you saw me open it just a few seconds ago, and it's likely to be quite inky. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ink up the stamp and stamp it here on my grid paper and see how it's stamping. Actually, it's stamping fine. Sometimes when the ink pads arrive, they are super, super juicy. If that happens, just get the back of a spoon and just push the ink towards the back, and then just use kind of this area. But no, it's fine. So it's quite a big stamp, so just get it all inked up, stamp it down. So pretty. Look at the detail on that image. It's very cool. I need a layer for the inside. So I'm just going to use the 2nd generation of that stamp for that. So that can go in there. I'm going to pop this down. Whenever you're putting a strip hang on, let me just move that out of the way, a strip of paper onto a card layer like this. Always go over the edge like that if you can, and then flip it over and snip it off, because then you'll get perfectly straight edges and it will also come right to the edge. Because sometimes if you cut it to the same size as your piece of cardstock, you'll find that it's just a hair, tiny smidgen too short, and it looks really annoying. It will irritate you. All right, so I'm going to get some dimensionals, pop them on the back of this. Pop that down. Put this on the front. And that's for the inside. Let me just get that ink pad closed up. Because otherwise I'm going to end up putting my fingers in the ink. So there we go. There is the completed card. Very simple card showcasing the new colour. So this is Orchid Oasis. This is Parakeet Party, and this, we often talk about sweets and treats here on my YouTube channel. This is like chocolate lime. That's what that reminds me of. This one is Tahitian Tide. So let's put those. Oh, actually, I'll put 4 there and I'll put the separate one there. This one is Sweet Sorbet. So the card itself is exactly the same. And then here is Starry Sky. Now I've used Balmy Blue as the matte layer here because I did try to do it with Early Espresso, but you couldn't see the greeting. So there we go. So there are all of the cards. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed seeing all the new in colours. I'd love to know if you've got a favourite. Please leave me a comment. I answer each and every one, and I really appreciate you taking the time to do that. All of the products will be available from the 3rd of May 2022. So I'm sorry if you're watching the video prior to that date, you won't be able to get the particular products that I've shown. But once that date's passed, there'll be clickable links in YouTube and Facebook and on my blog. So you'll be able to go straight to the online store to get your favourites. I hope to see you again soon. Thank you so much for joining me. Goodbye.